Hello, my beautiful, amazing, strong, thoughtful family. First of all, I want to wish each and every one of you a very happy new year, 2026. Truly. I hope this year meets you gently, surprises you kindly, and rewards you for everything you survived, endured, and overcame. Thank you for being here, for supporting this channel, for the conversations we have, for the laughs, for the honesty, and for the community we continue to build together. This space is not just content, it is connection, and I don't take that lightly. Now, let's talk about Meghan Sussex and the post she shared from the As Ever Instagram account, because this was not just a pretty carousel of images. This was not random. This was not filler. This was intentional storytelling. And if you understand Meghan at all, you know that intention is always the point. The post was titled January, Reset and Rituals. And before anyone even gets into the images themselves, that phrase alone tells you everything you need to know. Reset does not mean panic. Reset does not mean starting from nothing. Reset means clarity. It means releasing what no longer serves you and realigning with what does. Rituals are not habits you rush through. Rituals are acts you return to with purpose. Together, those two words signal something very specific. This is not a woman in reaction mode. This is a woman in authorship mode. The aesthetic of the post immediately slows you down. Black and white images mixed with soft color, natural light, handwritten notes, gardens, tea, candles, flowers, fruit steeped in water. Quiet moments, walking through greenery. There is no urgency here, no chaos, no desperation for attention. Everything about it says calm, grounded, deliberate. And that calm is what unsettles people the most. The handwritten note deserves attention because in a world obsessed with speed, automation, and mass production, handwriting is personal. It is intimate. It forces you to pause. It forces you to think before you move. Meghan Sussex choosing to open this visual story with pen on paper is not aesthetic fluff. It is a statement. It says, I am connected to my inner voice. I am not outsourcing my intention. I am not rushing in my process. Handwriting also implies reflection. You write things down when you want to make them real, when you want to commit, when you want to set an intention that is not for public approval, but for personal alignment. This is not hustle culture energy. This is grounded, self-led energy. Then there is the garden imagery, the sunlight filtering through trees, the greenery growing freely, the absence of rigid lines, marble floors, and cold interiors. Nature is not controlled. It grows when it is nurtured and left alone. That symbolism is impossible to ignore. Growth without interference, roots without restriction, flourishing without permission. Meghan Sussex has spent years being scrutinized, constrained, policed, and projected onto, and now what she shows us is space, breathing room, life unfolding naturally. That is not accidental. That is narrative correction without confrontation. The rituals shown in the post are simple but powerful. Tea being held, not rushed, candles lit intentionally, flowers arranged with care. These are not luxury flexes, these are grounding practices. These are the behaviors of someone who understands that peace must be protected deliberately. Rituals are boundaries in action. People who live in constant chaos often mistake calm for weakness, but calm is usually the result of experience. Calm is what happens after you learn what drains you and what restores you. Calm is what happens when you stop performing survival and start practicing presence. This is not random content. This is visual language. This is Meghan Sussex saying without words that a new cycle has begun, that what was planted before is now bearing fruit, that abundance is not something she is chasing, it is something she is cultivating. What is striking about this entire post is what is missing. There is no defensiveness, no bitterness, no reaction to headlines, no response to critics, no clarifications, no explanations. That absence is loud. Silence, when chosen, is power. People who feel threatened often feel the need to control the narrative loudly. People who are secure let the narrative unfold naturally. Meghan Sussex is not in a tug of war with public opinion. She has stepped out of the ring entirely. And then there is the image of Meghan and Harry together, walking hand in hand, relaxed, smiling. No pageantry, no performance, no stiffness, just partnership. For years, we have been told a very specific story about this marriage, that it is unstable, that it is performative, that it is transactional, that it is doomed. Yet, time continues to do what time always does. It reveals the truth. Secure relationships do not require constant proof. They do not leak. They do not brief. They do not posture. They simply exist. That image is not about convincing anyone. It is about reality. And reality does not need commentary. What makes this post especially powerful is that it is not reactive. It is not about January as a month. It is about direction. It is about orientation. It is about Meghan Sussex saying that she is no longer moving in response to pressure. She is moving in alignment with purpose. This is the difference between survival mode and authorship. Survival mode reacts. Authorship creates. The As Ever account itself reflects this shift. It is not loud, it is not frantic, it is not chasing trends. It is curated, slow, intentional. It is building a world, not just pushing a product. That approach requires patience, and patience is a luxury that only clarity affords. There is confidence in not rushing. There is power in waiting for the right moment. There is strength in letting things unfold organically. Contrast that with the constant urgency we see elsewhere, the need to explain relevance, the need to convince, the need to defend. Meghan Sussex is not doing that anymore. She is letting her work speak. She is letting her life speak. This post resonates because it is not exclusive. You do not need a title, a platform, or a public profile to understand reset and rituals. Anyone who has been through something that changed them understands this language. Reset is what you do when you refuse to repeat the same cycles. Rituals are what you build when you decide your peace is non-negotiable. This post speaks to people who have outgrown rooms, to people who learned the hard way, to people who stopped explaining themselves to those committed to misunderstanding them. It speaks to people who chose peace even when chaos would have gotten them more attention. That is why this post landed the way it did, because it is not about aesthetics, it is about wholeness. And this is why Meghan Sussex continues to provoke such disproportionate reactions. She is not breaking rules. She is exposing how fragile certain systems are when someone refuses to play along. She is showing that you can step away, rebuild, and still thrive. That is deeply unsettling to structures built on control and hierarchy. Meghan Sussex is not asking to be accepted. She is not seeking permission. She is not auditioning for approval. She is living in alignment with who she is now, not who she was expected to be. And that evolution is the real story. As we move into 2026, there's something we can all take from this energy. Reset does not mean erasing yourself. It means honoring who you have become. Rituals are not about perfection. They are about intention. They are about choosing yourself consistently, even quietly. Let this be the year you stop over-explaining. Let this be the year you move with clarity instead of noise. Let this be the year you protect your peace without guilt. To my family, thank you again for being here, for starting this year with me, and for showing up with open minds and open hearts. May this year bring you alignment, abundance, and the confidence to move forward without asking for permission. As ever, we rise.